What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Me myself, I'm finally healing now. Some of my wounds have already started drying up, especially after the stem cell injection that I got last week. My healing rate has, I don't want to say Wolverine, but it's definitely been healing at a superhuman level. It's crazy. Like, if you guys ever run into some sort of injury, again, touch wood, nothing like this happens to you guys, but if you guys ever run into anything, look up a plastic surgeon. They are apparently the experts on wound healing, and if you're able to get some sort of stem cell injection, it's going to multiply your healing rate by multiple factors. But otherwise, let's get into the intraday setup as well as the weekly setup for Bitcoin. And right off the get-go, we have had quite an aggressive Monday, which is very unusual, especially as far as Mondays go. But you got to remember, today is the 29th of December. There's 2 more days before we get the yearly close. It's only normal that the market makers will want to kind of readjust and ensure that whatever that yearly close is, it's going to be in their favor. And we're going to break that down right now as well. So nothing too much to talk about in terms of the yearly close. Highly unlikely that we are going to reach for that yearly kind of like low over there. Now, the only thing that you kind of want to see in terms of the yearly close is that ideally we close bullish. That will at least give us the opportunity where next year we will, let's say this is where the yearly close is. Once the next year opens, then we can look for an opportunity for price to dip into this fair value gap over here before getting some sort of expansion towards the upside, ideally towards the 150,000 level. Now, this will be a completely different story if you close bearish, because at that point, then yeah, you might look for price to kind of start the year like that, and this might be the overall move for the year, which is of course not ideal because all of us are holding bags in crypto. So ideally, we close bullish. That's the only thing that we can look for, and it does, like, not much needs to be done in order to close bullish. You just need to go above 93,500, which don't be surprised when you get closer to the year end, especially on Tuesday. You have FOMC today, which may introduce some sort of volatility into the markets, but like Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the days that you're definitely going to want to watch out for. Now, of course, ideally we close bullish, but even if we close bearish, it's not the end of the world. Either way, that is a little bit too far away from what we're trying to do here in the intraday perspective. So let's just go down into the lower timeframes to find out if there is potentially a setup today. Now, kicking things off on the weekly chart, we had a bearish close, which means technically we're supposed to be looking for some sort of a bearish movement. Don't get me wrong, we can still go long, especially if we kind of have this hypothesis that the market will want to close higher so that we close the year bullish, although that is absolutely not a guarantee, given the fact that that is just what we think, and that's not what the market is showing us at the moment. In terms of the weekly chart, definitely bearish. In terms of the daily chart, you're definitely in a range. In fact, you can even see it on the weekly chart where for the past few weeks, this system, like the market has just been kind of chopping around, which also means that this system tends to struggle in, weeks like this, where normally on a good week, we might have 3-4 different trading opportunities, and we might even end the week with like all wins. But for the past 3 weeks or so, like every week, we'd be lucky if we get, like, even though all of the criteria kind of lining up, we're only really getting anywhere between 1 to 2 opportunities, like high quality opportunities throughout a week. And that's kind of by design, because we've only had 1 or 2 news events throughout the last 3 weeks. And even though there was news because of the fact that you are so close to Christmas, it's very normal for the markets to just not do much. In fact, I even wondered if I should film a video today. The best move would definitely be to just wait for, the next year, and which is not far away. Like you're only 1 week away. And at the very least, the first proper week of January 2026 is going to give you much better volume compared to right now. But anyways, we have a daily bullish close, and so technically the bias for today is supposed to be bullish, although just keep in mind that we've already had quite a large move today, even prior to the New York session, which is the session that we usually trade. Now, in terms of the 1 hourly chart, you are coming back into a bullish order block right now. So in the event that you bounce anytime within the next couple of hours to the next few hours, ideally between the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. New York. Right now, as of the time that I'm recording this, it's about to be 5 a.m. So between 7 to 10 a.m., if you see some sort of a bounce on the lower timeframes towards the upside, that's going to be the setup for today. Although just be aware that because you've already had quite a volatile day, I don't expect the New York session to be as volatile compared to the Asia and the London. Now, there is a chance where in the event that you bounce, you might see more volatility. It's just like, that's not something I can really predict, but just keep in mind then we might want to be taking our profit at 2R today rather than, holding for too long. But this level right here given the fact that you have a bullish daily bias, the fact that you have a hourly changes state of delivery towards the upside with the hourly order flow already bullish, then this would be the level. Like if you were to bounce from somewhere, this would be the place to bounce from. The only caution that I would kind of give you is the fact that you have relatively equal lows over here, so there is a chance where that order block might just get swept and you might actually just form bearish changes state of delivery. So today really hinges on the fact that you do not close beneath, I'm going to say 87,300. As long as you do not have a 1 hourly close beneath this level, you're going to be still good for longs. Now you can sweep the lows, but you just don't want to close below it, because even if you sweep below, something like this could still happen where you stop everyone out, you trick everyone into thinking that prices are going down, but in reality you have a bullish daily bias and you just currently swept out the Asia lows right there. Take a look. Right now, you're filling in some sort of PD array after sweeping out the Asia lows, which by most accounts, especially on a regular trading day, is a A+ setup because, well, if we have a bullish daily bias, we ideally want to look for a PD array to get filled underneath the Asia, because this would make Asia accumulation, London potentially manipulation, right? A false move towards the downside before New York distributes towards the upside. Everyone who kind of went short here or maybe sold their bags or sold their positions here, well, the market is just going to pump and all of these people are not going to have another opportunity to get back in. And that's kind of the, the classic accumulation, manipulation, distribution framework. Whether or not that remains to be the case is, well, it's going to be a different story. We have to just read and react. But one thing's for sure, I'm going to be back on X today to post any of my live trades, which I usually do post all of my live trades on X. So if you guys want to follow along, feel free to follow me on X. And by the way, speaking about Twitter, if you didn't manage to get into Blueprint the last time, good news, we're doing a little flash sale right now. It's a flash opening. This will be essentially your last chance to get in at the launch price. This is the lowest the price is ever going to be. Starting next year, the prices are going to go up. And the next time we open Blueprint is going to be at least a couple of more months. If you want to trade alongside me, get access to my entire A to Z system. You already got a couple of guys who have already started winning like 4 trades in a row. Essam has already made back his entire investment into Blueprint less than like a couple of weeks since we opened the doors. Now, this will close. This will close in about 5 days. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, you've watched my videos, and you clearly know that this is something that works, this is a profitable system, and you want to learn the whole thing while trading alongside myself, last time to get in, this will be your last opportunity to get in, and I do not say that lightly. But otherwise, going back into the video, the invalidation scenario for today is again going to be if you get some sort of candle close towards the downside, that's going to kind of give you a warning sign, like, hey, the market, even though you had a bullish change in state of delivery over here, it does not really want to continue that. And in the event that you get closes below this, then you're just going to head towards the downside. But if that doesn't happen, we're going to be looking for a long between 7 to 10 a.m. You're going to be looking for a change in state of delivery to the upside on the 5-minute chart, and that is going to be the trigger that you need. But otherwise, let's take a real quick look at Ethereum just to see where we're at in terms of the yearly chart. Ideally, you're also close towards the upside, but unlike Bitcoin, you do not have any sort of fair value gap that you can fill. And also you've just swept out this level, which is interesting. So I'm going to say Ethereum looks a little bit less, bullish compared to Bitcoin, but at the same time, the yearly chart on Ethereum only has 6 candles. It's a very young market, it's still growing and you could very much still go towards the upside. But anyways, in terms of Ethereum, last week you closed bearish. In terms of the daily chart, you are bullish, I believe. Yep, you are bullish, just barely. And doesn't seem like there are any key levels that we can take advantage of. In terms of Ethereum, it's the exact same situation as Bitcoin. No surprise there. You have a bullish change in state of delivery over there. And right now you're coming back into this bullish order block, basically. And the setup for today is going to be very simple as well. Exactly the same as Bitcoin. Now, is there one that I would prioritize over the other? Definitely Bitcoin, because you've already tapped into the PD array. Unlike Ethereum, you are still kind of floating around towards the upside. Now, just keep in mind, do not open the same trade on both of these assets at the same time. It's a really bad idea, because in the event that you lose, one of them loses, you're going to lose 2 trades in a row. And yeah, you're going to lose more money than you otherwise anticipate. This is the same exact chart. So same exact scenario. I would probably lean towards Bitcoin personally, but it's up to you. Now, in terms of Solana, let's take a look. We have a bearish weekly bias, bullish daily bias. So we're going to be looking for longs today. And in terms of longs, we're going to be looking back to this change in state of delivery. So I think we can kind of narrow down the order block to around this range. Now again, as long as you do not close below this order block, you are still bullish on the 1 hourly chart. And the ideal timing window that you're going to want to look for today is between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now, as usual, the best trading days that we are ever going to get in terms of the system is going to be on news days. And news is going to be coming to tomorrow and Wednesday. So ideally, if you're able to, wait for Tuesday and Wednesday, but even then, today is already, well, you have a decent setup. Like, let's take a look at the lower time frame. Yep, Asia lows has already been swept. So today, if there is going to be a trade, it's going to be a accumulation, manipulation, distribution type of setup. And as usual, I'll be updating everything on Twitter. Feel free to follow me there. And guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.